Hi guys, Todd Anderson back here today with another versus video with Braun-Duin. Today I'm going to be playing probably something you've seen in my hands before, but a few cards different here and there. It's a red, white, blue control deck as inspired by Gerry Thompson. He recently made top 4 of an event in Indianapolis with it. The deck seemed pretty sweet. I played the same deck, one card different, and I started off really well. I think me and him both started off 10-1-1, but then my wheels sort of fell off. But we're going to play the deck today, give it one more shot, try to see if we can make any changes to help out certain particularly bad matchups. But today, Brian is going to be playing Ollie Antrezzi's 5-color control list from SCG Baltimore. So let's go and take a look at the deck before we get started. First up, we have the creature base. By now, you should know the standard Snapcaster Mage, Augur, Bolas, Restoration Angel. Sometimes we like to cut a Snapcaster Mage just depending on how many low-cost instants and sorceries we have to pair with it. In the red version, we have Pillar of Flame to go along with the Thought Scours and Azorius Charms, so Snapcaster Mage is much better in this version than in the pure blue-white version. The Augur Bolas can dig for a variety of spells, and I think it's important to note that it's awesome to have like certain 1-ofs in your deck to dig for with Augur Bolas, because you see so many different cards throughout the game that you're able to play like a 1-of Counterflux, a 1-of Rewind, you know, even like a 1-of Supreme Verdict sometimes, but today we're going to be playing 2. The 4 Restoration Angels go really well with both of these creatures, but they also just provide a solid body for attacking and blocking on their own. And then we have 1 Runechanter's Pike. Since the games go really long usually, the 1 Runechanter's Pike is an awesome win condition along with the Moorland Haunt and, you know, all the creatures that you have. But if you ever mill over it with a Thought Scour, it's pretty bad. So you'll probably see me Thought Scour my opponent until I have the Runechanter's Pike in my hand, because I think if you ever mill over it, it's very bad, especially against a control deck like the one Brian's going to be playing today. As far as removal is concerned, we have 3 Pillar of Flame, 4 Azorius Charm, and 2 Supreme Verdict. The verdicts are sort of a concession to the big black-red decks as well as the green-white aggro decks. Sometimes you just need a reset button, and it's not even that bad against a lot of the Thragtusk decks. They'll usually do like a Restoration Angel Thragtusk sort of thing, and then you just Wrath. You know, they don't get that much value out of it. You still have to end up dealing with the Beast after that, but it's not that difficult. As far as card draw is concerned, we have 4 Thought Scour, 3 Sphinx's Revelation, and 2 Think Twice. And on occasion, we have the Azorius Charms as draw cards too. And then we have 4 counter spells, 1 Izzet Charm, 1 Dissipate, 1 Rewind, and 1 Counterflux. I've contemplated going back and forth between 2 Counterflux and 0 Dissipate, because Counterflux, being unable to be countered, is awesome against all the Bant decks that play Sphinx's Revelation and Dissipate and things of that nature. So being able to have a hard counter against them is nice. However, the red mana in the casting cost is occasionally difficult since we are playing 3 colors. The Izzet Charm is versatile. You know, when you're using Sphinx's Revelation to draw a bunch of cards, a lot of times you have excess land, so you can filter those away for new cards. You can kill creatures with it, and you can also counter non-creature spells. And then the 1 Rewind is just sort of a nod to Restoration Angel. When you have 4 mana up, you can rewind something and still cast Restoration Angel, followed up by like a Runechanter's Pike or something. The mana base is straightforward. We have 20 dual lands, 2 island, 1 mountain, 1 plains. The 1 mountain and the 1 plains give us 13 sources of both red and white. The islands, we have 18 sources of blue, and then we have 1 Moorland Haunt, which I want to play 2, but it's kind of hard to fit a second colorless land into the deck due to the extraneous mana requirements. But, alright, well, that's the main deck. Let's go and take a look at the sideboard. Alright, so this is the first deck I've played in a long time where after boarding, my deck became significantly better than my main deck against the majority of the matchups that I played against. As far as against the aggressive decks is concerned, we get to board in Izzet Staticaster, Oblivion Ring, Rolling Timblor, and Supreme Verdict, and we get to cut you know, like the counter spells if they have Cavernous Souls, and sometimes like some of the slower card draw spells. But And then against control, we have Jace Memory Adept, Dispel, and Oblivion Ring, where we get to cut the Pillars of Flame, you know, sometimes the Azorius Charms, depending on how aggressive they can be after board. And sometimes we can board out Supreme Verdicts, depending. But basically, the cards in the deck, we have Rest in Peace for graveyard decks, obviously. Dispel comes in with to protect the Jaces from counterspells. The Oblivion Rings come in and, as opposed to Detention Spheres, because we want to be able to Oblivion Ring their Detention Spheres when they hit our Jace Memory Adept. Against the control decks, our plan is pretty much to just mill them out. And so if we are able to play Jace on like turn 6 with a Dispel backup, you know, we mill them 10. If they have a Detention Sphere, we Oblivion Ring it. If they don't have it, you know, we just stall the board with Augur Bolas, block their Thragtusk, block, you know, things of that nature, until we deck them. Jace Memory Adept has been just absolutely bonkers, so I'm pretty happy to have him in my sideboard. He's been very good. The 2 Rolling Timblors are kind of a concession to both green-white with Thalia as well as Geist of St. Traft. We need a way to interact with them earlier, and since most of those decks play just a swarm of 2 toughness or less creatures, Rolling Timblor gets the job done, and the fact that it can flash back is pretty solid in the late game. The 3rd Supreme Verdict is just a nod to all the aggro decks in the format, but other than that, the deck runs pretty smoothly. After board it gets much better, which is nice. But yeah, that's the sideboard. But alright guys, so we're going to be right back in just a few minutes with our playtest video. Thanks for watching.